Hey, good afternoon, everyone. You are all at the free webinar, Improve the Usability of Your Website. And I am your host today, Michelle Sherritt, the founder and VP here at QCamp. And today we have a pretty packed crowd, little over 300 people attending today. So if you do have any questions throughout today's session, just type your questions in the chat box in your upper right-hand corner. And then after the webinar, I will stop recording and we'll answer those questions for you. So why are you here today? We have business owners here today. We have marketing people. We have developers. We have some usability folks as well. But probably the main reason why you want to be here today is because you want to improve the usability of your current website. 3 out of 4 businesses we find have issues with usability. And here at QCamp and our parent company, Situated Research, we've conducted over 5,000 website reviews just this year in 2016. And the key usability issues that we've seen so far have to do with content. The content just isn't written correctly for the website and the type of business, or it's written for search engine optimization, and so the content doesn't make sense to users, or there's just too much content. Also, labeling is incorrect. And we're going to go through all of these different issues today, but as far as labeling goes, we're talking about your main menu navigation, what you label the pages of your website. Search functionality is another issue, a big one that we see. Some websites are just so cram-packed with so much information that there isn't a way for users to find information sometimes. And that's just because there's just so much content and there isn't good labeling, and the pages kind of repeat the same content. And so what you came to the website to find, you can't. So we're going to talk about search functionality today as well. We're also going to talk about the user journey, what that is, and the key usability issue that we see most of the time is that user journey is too long. And what we mean by user journey is like if you have an e-commerce website, the whole checkout process from the time you find a product that you want to purchase to the time you finish your checkout. So there are steps to eliminate. You can test users. We're going to go through all of that today. How you can make that a shorter user journey and make it a good experience for your users. And we also run into a lot of the time with do-it-yourselfers, people who build their own websites, that the website doesn't work all of the time on different search engines. It may work great on Google Chrome, but if someone's on Safari, it doesn't work, and that's due to coding issues. So we're going to talk about all of this today. The other key things that we're going to talk about today are how accessible is the content on your website? Is information easy to find? Do you have consistent branding throughout your website? Consistency is key as far as usability goes with websites. So making sure that you keep people on your website and don't transfer them to other locations is key. Making sure that each page is laid out the same way, meaning that your main menu navigation is the same on every page of the website. The overall look and feel is consistent. And we'll talk about why that's important. We'll also talk about if your website's responsive or not. In 2016, your website, you should have a responsive design. And what that means is that your website will look and feel and work correctly on a mobile device. So that could be a tablet or a smartphone. Does your website have consistent and easy to use navigation? So we kind of just touched upon that. Are your navigation labels descriptive and grouped appropriately? We'll talk about that as well. And is it easy or even possible to search on your website? And lastly, we'll talk about, does your content have clear calls to action, or CTAs? So the top usability issues that we see when we conduct these reviews of websites are Visually appealing designs is huge. We have a lot of people who haven't updated their websites in years, and you can tell. Um, your website doesn't have to be flashy. Some people are like, oh, do I need it to be flashy? Do I need slideshows? Do I need this? Do I need videos? No, it doesn't need to be flashy, but it does need to be current, and it does need to be visually appealing to users, or they get bored and they leave. We also see a lot of intuitive and logical navigation missing. And we're going to talk about menu navigation and how to make sure that yours is intuitive and logical. We also see a lot of times not very quick load speeds. And what that means is that it takes forever for your website to load. So either somebody does a Google search and they click on your website, or they type in the URL to your website. Whenever your website's brought up, it just takes a long time. So we're going to show you today how to check your website to see what your load speeds are and how to correct that issue. And most of the time, to correct the issue has to do with your hosting, or if that's not it, it has to do with the amount of images that your website's having to pull up. And so we can talk about that as well. And then lastly, consistency. We've kind of touched upon that in the last slide. You want your website to look consistent. You want your main menu navigation to be in the same spot. You want your contact us page to be in the same spot, etc. So we'll talk about why that's important. So to start today, we're going to talk a little bit about visually appealing designs. And like I said, it doesn't have to be flashy. You don't have to have a slideshow. In fact, at the beginning of the year, websites with slideshows kind of going out of style. They're not really trending anymore. Here at QCamp and Situated Research, our websites are responsive. Our websites are built on the WordPress platform, and we do have slideshows. We will be changing that more towards the end of the year, but we really like the look and feel right now of our websites, so we're going to keep it that way. But again, you don't have to have a flashy website, just something that looks current, that attracts attention, that creates an awesome first impression for users who come to your site, because your website's a representation of you and your company. So if you're current, you're hip, you're with it, you're trending, so is your company. And that has a lot to say to your users. Also, your website is the first impression, because they're not talking to you. They're not talking to your customer service people. They're doing a Google search and your website's coming up. It is the first impression for your business, so you want to make it a good one. It helps you to build relationships online. And also, as far as visually appealing designs, you want to draw some sort of emotions from your users. You know, if it's an e-commerce site, you want to draw out, hey, go shopping. We're going to make this website great. We're going to make it visually appealing so that you want to stay on the site, you want to search for products, you want to buy our products because it's fun. So you want to draw those emotions out of people. Color psychology comes into play here when it comes to building a visually appealing website. And what we mean by color psychology is that different colors mean certain things in your brain, such as red means stop or danger, green means go or move forward, and yellow means happy, just as a few examples. So emotions are associated with different colors. And when we're on websites and we see red, we're like, ooh, stop. Don't go any further, danger. And that's what triggers in our brain. So if red is in your company logo, of course, when we design websites, we want to have that color consistent throughout the website, but there's a subtle way to incorporate it so that that emotion of stop, danger, isn't put into the user's head and they decide to leave the website. So we go with your company logo colors and your branding and marketing. However, we do take into consideration color psychology. And so we design visually appealing websites based off of color psychology. because colors of the site have to make sense. We have some clients who come to us that build websites on their own, or they had a website built for their company and want to redesign. And they have their company logo, and it consists of a few colors. But then the rest of the website is just random colors. And we're like, well, how did you guys pick these colors? Oh, we just kind of thought it looked good. And we're like, but none of these colors are in your logo. None of these colors are in your branding. None of these colors are in your marketing materials. So it doesn't make sense to use these colors, these other colors in your website, because your website's basically your online marketing tool. So it doesn't make sense. So clients start to kind of get it. And they're like, yeah, we're not getting that many visitors to our website, or our bounce rates, a lot. And we have people who come and they're just like, and they leave right away. So we take all of that into consideration. Another big hiccup that we see, that we touched upon a little earlier, is intuitive and logical navigation. So it's proven that people can only remember 4 to 6 items in a list. So for menu navigation, in your main menu navigation, we don't want to see any more than 4 to 6 main menu categories. And then as far as sub-menus, we don't want to see any more than 3 to 4. And there's a reason for this. I like to give this analogy where think of your grass, so your yard. So that's your main menu navigation. If you give your users way too many menu options, you're giving them too much space to look at. You're giving them too much room to roam. And then if you dig too deep, so that's submenus, you dig too deep and you have more than 3 to 4 submenus, information is going to get lost. So just think of main navigation as your topsoil, and then your submenus are you're digging a hole to plant a vegetable or whatever. So this is just a sample menu navigation from one of our clients' websites. You can see the main menu navigation is respiratory, walkers, canes, bathroom safety, personal care. So that's fine. That's between that 4 to 6 range, so that's fine. But as far as sub-menus go, this is an e-commerce site. However, having everything as a sub-page doesn't work, because now information is getting too deep and information is going to get lost. So we would work on this client's submenus, kind of combine pages to alleviate this problem. So when we talk about main menu navigation and pages, we also want to look at logical labeling. So we always have clients who have built their websites themselves, labeled the pages themselves, and they label the page something where you think you're going to find something on this page, and you get to the page and it's something totally different. That's what we mean by clear logical labeling. So it has to be like, okay, contact us. I click the page. I'm going to get your contact information. I'm going to get a contact form. That's what I expect to see. I don't expect to see a map of your location and that's it. Okay. If I click on About Us, very short, simple label, that's another thing. You want to keep the label short and to the point, and you want to do clear and distinct labeling. So About Us, I'm going to learn about the company, or I'm going to learn about the founders, or I'm going to learn about the team. Products and services, I'm going to learn about what you sell. Shop, oh, I get to buy stuff. The blog is the blog, so very clear and to the point. And that really helps users have an ease in finding typical information like a contact us form or learning about the company, etc. So here is QCamp's labeling. So we have about, services, work, blog, contact. So when we click on about, we know that we're going to learn about the founders of the company. We're going to learn about the company. We're going to learn about the team. Services, I'm going to get a list of services that QCamp provides. Work, I'm going to get a list and showings of past work. Blog is the blog, and contact is contact us. You're going to be able to fill out a form. You're going to get all of our contact info, our social media links, etc. It's going to be great. um, the one underneath is from HelloFresh. And here, their labeling is our boxes, how it works, our recipes, gift cards, Jamie Oliver, blog. So instead of our boxes and how it works, we could combine that into one page about us. So we can eliminate our recipes, Jamie Oliver, that could go under a page called resources. Gift cards could be there, that could stay, blog could stay, but a contact us page would be nice as well. And HelloFresh had a lot of submenus as well, so we would look at those submenus and see what pages we could combine to eliminate that confusion or gain information lost within the website. Some confusing labeling. Our city website here in Naperville, Illinois used to look like this. They actually redid it. And we had some help with that. Or we played some help with that as far as menu navigation goes. So I don't have a slide. I should have a slide with how it looks now. But this is the way it looked. I just wanted to show an example of confusing labeling. So you have home, media gallery, press room, bids, etc. So you have 7 main pages. So that's outside of our 4 to 6 to start with. The next mistake that we see is that people are putting home in their main menu navigation. You don't have to do that anymore. You should be able to click on the company logo at any point, anywhere on the website, and be taken back to the home page. And users know this now. So there's no need for a home button. So that, a home page button, that gets rid of that. So now we have that 4 to 6 range, which is fine. But then we have huge submenus. So on the left, we have a submenu with 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 subpages, and then those have pages. On the right, we have featured topics for the blog. We don't need to have that, just have a blog button at the top of the page. And then we even have, I don't know if you guys can see my arrow, but we even have these big buttons, moving to Naperville, visiting Naperville. These are all pages as well. So it can get very confusing for the user. This was that left hand labeling that we had on the previous slide. Yeah, right here. These are the submenus. That's a lot. And we even have a more button. That's never good. And then even these pages have submenus. So yes, it's a government website. We've dealt with government websites in the past that they just have so much information, but there is a way to organize it so that it makes sense for users and information isn't going to get lost. And that's when we bring in our information architects from Situated Research, our parent company, and they help us with the labeling and with the pages of the website and with the content to make sure that it makes sense for users. Something also, QCamp, our sister company, builds and redesigns websites and does social media marketing and marketing plans, etc. But whenever we redesign a website or build a website, we always bring in our team from Situated Research to help with the usability so that the website's user-friendly. Otherwise, there's no sense in building it. And that's all incorporated in the cost of the website as well. So I mentioned load speeds, I think in the first slide today, and just making sure that your website loads quickly is very, very important. There's a great website. It's marketing.grader.com. And it's a sponsored website through HubSpot. And it's free. And you just type in the URL to your website and your email address, and it pops up and goes through a lot of different things for you as far as marketing goes. But the one thing that it does go through is performance. And so the website that we graded here got a 12 out of 30 on performance. So some things that are wrong are page requests, page speed. So then we look at the code and we look at how many images is the website trying to load, are there videos, what's going on. So you can take a look at that at marketing.greater.com for your website. And if your performance is low, you can contact us and we can help you out with that. Because visitors get impatient and they will leave. So if your website doesn't load correctly or load quickly, they're going to get impatient and leave. So just think about when you're sitting at your computer doing a Google search and you bring up a website and it's loading and loading and you think you have an internet issue and you hit the back button, but you realize that you don't. You then, when you click that back button, what ends up happening is your Google search comes back up and you click on the next website. And then it happens time and time again. So you don't want to put all this money into SEO and into marketing and into building your website and then find out that your load speed is too slow and that's making people leave. So as I mentioned earlier, also consistency is the #1 key issue that we find when it comes to usability issues with your website. And that is just bad because some people have websites where they have built a website, you click on an internal page, and you're brought to a completely different website. And it looks completely different. And that's a problem because users have to then refamiliarize themselves with the layout of that website. And then they also think that, hey, now I'm not with this company anymore. Where the heck did I go? And then they try to hit the back button. Sometimes that doesn't work. Or they hit another internal page and it looks completely different too. We worked with a company out in Colorado last fall that was a real estate firm. And so they had different areas of real estate, commercial, residential, etc. And so they have one main website for their company, for the real estate agency. But then if you clicked on residential, you would think that you'd be taken to a page within the website that talks about residential realty. And no, it took you to a brand new website. And the menu navigation changed, the labeling changed. We were just really confused. So that's the kinds of things that we're talking about. And remember, your website is your first impression online. So if you're taken to a different website, you get confused, but you also lose trust in the company and you're not going to do business with them. It's been proven time and time again through our usability research. Having the main menu navigation change location. Have you ever been on a website where it's at the top as it should be, and then you go on an internal page and it's on the left? And the labeling sometimes changes as well. Bad design. So make sure that your website's consistent and that the internal pages don't change with the layout. If you have a banner at the top of one internal page and then you have content under it, have it on every single internal page. Not the same image, but the same layout. So that kind of gets us into content. We run into this problem all the time where companies have built a website, has someone build it for them. Then they have content writers work with SEO people, search engine optimization, because they want to rank high. And so the content ends up just not making sense whatsoever. Users can figure out pretty quickly that that's what you're doing and that the content isn't relevant to them and you're just looking to rank high, and they leave the website. Whenever we do our user testing and that happens, users leave right away. So on the home page, what we want to see as far as content goes is that you have a clear essence of business. When we come to your homepage, we know exactly what your business is about. Clearly indicate what it's about. Spell it out in a few sentences. Make sure that everything on the homepage correlates with your company branding. Make sure that your marketing department has a play in the design of your website. As far as the content goes for the entire website, make sure it's not too wordy. And make sure you don't repeat yourself. Some people want to make their website look bigger than it actually is because they think that makes their company look larger than it is. And what ends up happening is that users are like, wow, there's too much content. I can't get through everything. And we find that with testing that users just skim web pages anyway. They don't read word for word. But especially if you have the same content just reworded on another page, users catch on very quickly and they leave the website as well. And that kind of runs into making the website too boring or making the website fun. Is it fun to use, or is it like there's just way too much content here? Making sure that your content has powerful verbiage is important as well, because you want good, clear calls to action. You want the content on your website to get action from your users, to have them order a product or call you for a service. And on the website as well, you want to encourage communication. And that's kind of bringing in social media integration onto your website and as many ways for people to communicate with you, like with a contact us form, having your contact information at the footer of every page of the website, making sure that your social media buttons are on every page of the website, etc. So just encouraging that communication because that will gain you trust online as well. So here are some sample calls to action that we feel are really, really good. Sell more, grow more. Use thousands of innovative features to reach, retain, and delight your customers. Take the tour, try our free 14-day trial, view plans and pricing. We really like this one because of the graphics. The buttons are nice and large. You can read the content. It's asking us to do something. Just like a sign up button or a download now or sign up. Well, sign up, yeah. But just having those clear calls to action, they're just simple, straightforward, and to the point, just like our distinct labeling for our menu navigation is key. People know exactly what's going to happen when they click on the button, and it's grabbing their attention. So also to talk a little bit about building responsive websites nowadays. It used to be that you had to build one version for desktop and you had to build one version for mobile. And now that's not the case. As long as we do a responsive design at the get-go, your website's going to look and feel and function correctly on every device, desktop or otherwise. So there are just so many stats of how many people are on mobile devices today. I don't need to go through those with you. So why should your website be mobile ready? Because all these people are online, especially if you have an e-commerce site, you really want to make sure that your website's responsive. People are on the go. You know, so if someone's on the train going downtown Chicago in the morning and they're talking to their neighbor next to them and they're like, you know, what do you do for a living? Oh, I do this. What do you do? Blah, blah. Yeah, do you know anyone who builds websites? Oh, yeah, I heard of this company, QCamp, you know, they do really good work, whatever. Oh, really? And they pull out their phone and they want to see the website. And if we don't have a responsive design and they can't view our website online, they're going to be like, especially for us, because we build websites, they're especially going to be like, and go to the next guy and be like, this guy didn't know what he's talking about. So we want to make sure that your website's mobile ready. So you can actually go to that free tool again, marketing.grader.com. And what it'll do is it'll tell you if your website's responsive or not. So QCamps is, so we got a 30 out of 30, but it goes through everything as far as mobile goes and responsive. Making sure that you don't have to scroll from left to right. So your website could be responsive, but you might have to scroll left to right to control the page, and that's not responsive. You want to make sure that that doesn't happen. You want to make sure that the width and scale conforms to the type of device you're on. Making sure that's responsive is key in today's day and age. So if you're not sure, you can check your website out at marketing.grader.com. So I talked a little bit about encouraging communication, and again, that builds trust with your users online. So incorporating your social media pages, integrating that into your website, into the footer of every page is important. Having your contact information in the footer on every page of the website is important. When we do user testing, especially websites where there's a lot of content and they have to scroll, because they don't read everything, remember. So there's a lot of content and they scroll and they get to the bottom and they want to contact you and there's no information or any way for them to contact you. 9 times out of 10, the user will not scroll back up to the top of the page to find a contact us button or a contact us page or a phone number or any kind of way to communicate with you. They end up leaving the website. So making sure that ways to contact you are on the website and typical places that users would look is key and important. So having this information in the footer of your website is key. Having a contact us page is important as well. It can have a form with just simple things to ask for, name, email address, maybe a little comment box, and then hit send. Very easy. So a little bonus today in our webinar is that once you build this awesome website that is user-friendly, then what you want to do is you want to get people to your website. And I put this in here because people come to us all the time after we build a website and they're like, okay, now what? And here at QCamp, we just don't build a great website that's user-friendly. We want to make sure that you're profitable from your website. We want to make sure that you get new clients from your website, you sell your services, your products, etc. So once we build a website, we help with that social media marketing. We help to gain traffic to your website. So some of the ways that you can do that as far as website traffic goes is through blog posts. And even writing one blog post a week is awesome. It helps you because then you can take the link to that blog post and put it on your social media outlets. And so those people from your social media outlets, let's say Facebook, they see the blog post and they're like, oh, and they click the link, it brings people to your website. So you gain website traffic, which helps with your SEO and your ranking. Having links to your site is key. Doing other social media things that will go through in the second circle are key. Being on Facebook is key. Having a good Facebook fan page for your business is important. So in the middle here, we have social media leads. And again, everyone's going to be transferred to your website. So with social media, you can do contests. You can look at trending topics for your industry. There's videos that you can share and do. You can build ads through social media to draw traffic to your website. And then there's also landing page design. So let's say you do have a contest. We would make specifically a landing page on your website for that contest or for a specific service. And you can post that landing page link on your social media outlets and have good imagery that draws people in. You get lead capturing that way as well. And on the landing page, if you have a really well-designed form, that really helps too with the lead capturing. And we can create ads as well. So there's a lot involved. We're dealing, I got 6 new clients last week, which was pretty impressive. And every single client was like, I built a website on my own. I want it to look good. I want it to be user-friendly, and it's not. So I'm going to invest now, and I want you to help me with that. But after you build the website, I need help with everything else. I'm a business owner. I don't do social media. I don't build landing pages. I don't do marketing, yada, yada. So we help them with all of that, which is nice. And they really appreciate that too, because they know that everything that we do will be ran through our parent company at Situated Research to make sure that that usability is there and that everything is user-friendly. And also that they gain a lot of traffic to their website and it's good traffic. And they have people who actually want to purchase their product or use their services, which is great. So here at QCamp, what we offer is a free marketing analysis video. So at the very beginning, I said that we've conducted over 5,000 reviews of websites just this year alone, and this is what I'm talking about. If you go to our website, qcamp.com, you can fill out the free marketing analysis form, and you will receive a video within 48 hours. It's about a 15 to 20 minute video that goes through the usability of your website, that goes through the marketing of your website. goes through the social media of your website. So it's analysis of the overall user friendliness of your entire website. We look at your homepage and we look at a few internal pages. It's not the entire website. I shouldn't have said that. If you want the entire website looked at after you get your free video, there is a fee for that. And we would just quote you depending on how big your website is. So you can inquire about that if you'd like. Or what I would suggest is getting the free video first and then see if you like what you got and then purchasing the video for your entire website. Everything's research-driven analysis, and it's of your branding and your marketing presence. We do an evaluation of your site navigation structure and the ease of use of your website. And we also give you action items to improve your website's effectiveness, even in the free video, which is great. It really helps out businesses. Like I've said, we've done over 5,000 since January. And not everyone's turned into a project, but most of them have turned into, a referral, or we've helped with marketing or logo design or a website redesign or whatever the case may be. So if you're interested in that, I'm going to leave you guys with our contact info. There's our phone number and our email address, but also the link to the free marketing analysis video. QCamp.com is a one-page responsive design. So if you just scroll down, you'll get to the video portion where you can fill out the form. And like I said, you get that video within 48 hours. And here at QCamp, again, we design websites, we redesign websites, we do social media marketing, we come up with marketing plans, we do logo design, we do SEO, search engine optimization, we also do print marketing. So we help with, designing business cards, logos, flyers, banners, car magnets, etc. So also today's hashtag was QCamp webinars. So if you follow that hashtag, you'll always be updated on the webinars that we have at QCamp. So I want to thank you all again today for attending. I hope that the webinar is very informative. And if anything, I definitely would sign up to get the free marketing analysis because a video is very helpful. Just because we get your information doesn't mean that we call you up and then we start bugging you for a project. We simply just do the free video, send you an email with the link, and then you have a week that you can view it. And if you have questions, you can contact us. We will answer those questions for you, but there's no sales pitch. There's nothing. If you don't want to be bothered, we're not going to bother you. We're not going to bother you anyway. We might check in with you at the end of the week and ask if you had any questions, but that's about it. So like I said, if anything, sign up. It's free. And if you know anyone who needs any of our services, please do refer us. So I want to thank you all for attending today and have a wonderful rest of your afternoon.